Welcome to New Harvest Farm. Today I want to show you how we are making biochar using bamboo. So here at the farm we have been making biochar for probably about the last month or 6 weeks. We've learned a lot, and one thing that we learned is that bamboo makes excellent biochar for a few reasons. First of all, we have a lot of it here at the farm. It is renewable, so it's considered a green resource. It grows incredibly fast. And in fact, it's a bit invasive here. We're trying to reduce the amount of bamboo that we have. So it's a great thing to make biochar out of. But we also found that the biochar that we get from the bamboo is actually really nice. Has some great characteristics that we think will be of a great advantage. It seems to be more porous, and it also seems to break down a bit quicker, which we hope means that it will spread out more in the soil. So the other thing we've used to make a lot of biochar recently is citrus, from when we prune back our citrus trees. And I find that the biochar from the bamboo really has a much better texture than that of the citrus, which seems to be quite hard. So we really think that it's going to be a great help for us as we improve our soil here. So the part of the process that definitely takes the most time is the cutting of the bamboo. So we need to cut them into little sections so that they can fit well into the hole. So here, guys worked hard yesterday, cut up a lot of the bamboo, so we have enough to burn to do another burn either this afternoon or tomorrow. There are many different ways to make biochar. Some of them are pretty complicated and some of them are simple. We have gone with the simple one just because that's really the resources that we have here, but we found it to be quite effective. So we're using a pit method. Some people far smarter than I am have figured out that this is actually a good way to do it. The philosophy is actually very simple. So as you can see, we have a pit that the sides kind of angle down towards the middle. It's not very deep, this one here. So you can make them as big as you want. We figured, especially if we're putting them out with water, we didn't want too huge that we'd have to waste too much water to do it. So this is David. David is head of our livestock division here at the farm, but he's also the one who's been making most of the biochar. So let me explain how this works here. As you can see, we have some bamboo here in the pit. Now what we do is we burn it in layers, because the philosophy of using these pits is quite simple. To make charcoal, any type of charcoal, you have to burn something in a oxygen depleted environment. Now here, where people make cooking charcoal, typically you stack sticks up and then you cover it with dirt and burn it very slowly. It can take 2 or 3 days to do a burn. So this is very quick. What we're doing here is we put it in layers. As you can see, these bamboos are burning. They're starting to char now. So before they're fully charred and start going to ash, as soon as we start seeing the ash appear, what we do is we put another layer on. So what happens is the ones on top catch fire, and the layer on top actually uses, bamboos do tend to burst a little bit, but it uses almost all the oxygen, and so the bamboos that are then left underneath no longer burn, or burn very slowly, because the oxygen is not reaching to the bottom of the pit. So what happens is most of the bamboo is then burning in an oxygen depleted environment, and what you get is char. Alright, so that layer of bamboo has gone to char, just starting to ash. So now we're going to add, David here is going to add the next layer of bamboo. As you can see, we're using a mixture of dry bamboo and recently cut bamboo. We find that this works fairly well. It doesn't take nearly as long to let it dry out if we can burn it green like this. We tend to get about the same results. So again, by putting this next layer on, what happens is it starts on fire and it robs the oxygen from beneath. We just keep layering on this until the hole is full. Alright, so we've just thrown the last of the bamboo in for this burn. We're not going to fill the hole up. As you can see, it's still snapping and popping. We're getting a bit of smoke when we put it on, when we put this bamboo on, because it's green, but typically when we're doing the biochar, it's burning clean, which is a good sign. As you can see, this is a bit of a tricky point here. So when we end the burn, we need to try to make sure that as much of it is burned into charcoal as possible. Never quite burns all the way, because if we let the top layer burn all the way, then the stuff at the bottom starts to turn to ash. So we always shut it down a bit early and then reburn the stuff on top that wasn't quite fully burned. All right, we are about ready to put the fire out. So where we are here, we're actually up on the hill. We have quite a hill that we're on, and our water source is way down there at the bottom. So we are very green here though, especially because we have no electricity. So we pump the water up here to this tank using a hydraulic ram pump here, using nothing but gravity. All right, we are about ready to put the fire out. We're doing the last, you can see it's starting to get quite a bit of ash on top there now. That means that it's time to put the fire out. All right, so we've got the fire burned down about as much as we want to go. There's going to be a few pieces that aren't fully burned yet, but we don't want to lose too much to ash down there below. So we are gonna put it out. Ends up taking, if we fill it up, ends up taking about 40 to 50 gallons of water to fully douse it. The nice thing about this system when we're using this for agriculture is that the biochar actually soaks up a lot of this water, which means that it's the first part of the inoculation process. So all right, the biochar is done. It's been doused. So it's taken about an hour to do one of our holes here. We end up with some beautiful biochar. So if we fill this hole up, we didn't quite get it full today. If we fill this hole up, we get about 3 wheelbarrows full of this biochar. So yeah, it's decent yield that we're getting off of this. We're happy enough with that. So yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we're making biochar here at New Harvest Farm. That's how we're utilizing bamboo to make our biochar. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to continue to keep up on what we're doing here at New Harvest Farm, be sure to subscribe to our channel.